Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. I'm going to show you today what I'm doing. I'm putting an electric fuel pump on a 1981 OMC 140 horse. It's on a 16-foot Sea Sprite boat. It currently has a mechanical pump. It's not working, and I looked at the prices of mechanical pumps, the replacement pumps, and I did an electric pump on my other boat last fall. I've had it on the water 21 times this year already. And just to give you an idea, this is not even July. This is June. June 27th, I believe. And I've had that thing work without fail. The electric fuel pump works incredibly well. Keeps up with it. I had a problem last year where it would start to nose off on power, running at 4,200 RPM. Then all of a sudden it would just kind of start powering down to about 3,600 RPM. It was getting started for gas. It would run good until it ran the fuel out of the carburetor. Then the fuel pump could only pump so much fuel. So I went to electric fuel pump. You can buy these things reasonably, and I got that particular one. I've got offline. I'm trying to think of the name of the company. They do a lot of performance stuff, but all you need is a fuel pump that handles 1.5 to 5 pounds of fuel pressure, and that keeps up with it. So I'm going to show you what I did here, what I'm going to do. Then I'll show you after it's all buttoned up, because I'm not going to show you all the soldering and all the fun stuff like that. I've done that enough on the other videos. So watch this. So right here what you have is your mechanical fuel pump. Have your fuel line coming out here. It's a hard metal line that comes out, runs up through here, runs across the top, and hooks to your carburetor. Well, I'm going to bypass that. I just basically took everything off. What I'll eventually do is pull this off and then put a metal plate with a gasket over it to cover up the hole. But you can run it just fine by leaving it in place. It's not going to hurt anything. But it's nice to get it off there out of the way. So over here, what I have, my finger out of the way for you, is made in USA. I got this from Napa. It cost about $65. I know you can get them cheaper. It's a nice little Facet brand Posi Flow gasoline and diesel fuel filter. This again is a 1.5 pound to 5 pound pressure that it will maintain for you. It comes with an inline filter that screws into the end of this with a nipple on it that you can already put your gas line on. I bought another 5 foot of gas line here to be able to go from this end on up to the carburetor. Now currently on up to this spot in the carburetor, so you can see where the line normally came out right here. This is the type of fitting it had on it. This would naturally be up around here. Let's see if I can get this in the picture. This normally be around here and go up into there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this off about here. Give myself enough room that I can run hose up on it, and I might flare the end a little bit, but then I can put a hose clamp on it and convert this thing and it'll be to electric fuel pump after that, which would be really cool. Now I found a spot where I'm going to mount this thing is down underneath here. It's kind of out of the way. Let's see if I'm going to go down somewhere around in here, screw it to the floor like that. It's hard to see, but it's going to be right down in there. And then I'll run my fuel line up and around and get it up here. I've got to make sure everything fits underneath the doghouse that goes over this engine. So the other thing you got to be conscientious of is you got to find a wire. Now I've come back here and I've probed a wire on the wiring harness. It's this purple one here, and you got to find a 12-volt supply that's on with the ignition and off with the ignition, because you don't want your fuel pump running all the time, obviously. So when you turn the ignition on, the fuel pump kicks on, pressures up the fuel in the carburetor, and you're off to the races. So I'll show you another little quick walk around when I'm done, and that'll tidy up this video. And then tomorrow I'll run it and we'll see how it works. Just want to show you how much. There it is. I got the fuel pump wired up. You see the amount of gas it's pumping right now. What I'm doing is I'm pumping the old gas out of the tank. I've got it going through this filter, inline filter here, and do that filter there, and coming up in and just filling up a gas can, because this gas has been in here quite a while and I don't want to run it on this gas, so I'm pumping it out with its own fuel pump. Okay folks, we're going to fire up this Sea Sprite. I've got the electric fuel pump hooked up but not tidied up yet. I've got the outdrive going up and down like it's supposed to, so it engages. It's not broken any longer. I've got the water muffs on and battery's fully charged. Fuel pump pumps up to pressure and holds pressure. We're going to give it a firing here and see what happens. This hasn't been fired up since last fall. I rebuilt the carburetor, got it running to where it was decent enough, running decent enough I could winterize it, and then I put it away. It's been sitting ever since. I've uncovered it, decided to get this thing going this spring so I can get it sold. And here's where we sit. And as always, make sure you turn the water on. Never, never, never start your boat up without having earmuffs on. You will cook your water pump. Levels out about 150.